Hello, I'm Linda. I'm here to give women an insight into what they may be getting into dating as a senior. I recommend you view my introduction video before proceeding, because now I'm going to jump right into a recent dating experience. AJ, which are not his real initials, was a Scotsman and proud of it. He contacted me on the online dating site and we chatted for a few nights. He seemed harmless enough, being a painter and a musician, so when he invited me up to his house an hour away from me, I felt it was safe. He didn't drive or have a car, so that was a red flag to me. He lived in the lower flat of a nice end of terrace house. He was acceptable in appearance, 6 feet tall, average body, and still had some hair. However, I was a bit distracted with the very long single hair coming out of his nose. The teeth were bad, but that doesn't bother me. I liked his jean shirt, but I didn't like his shorts because his legs were skinny, and it didn't seem warm enough to be wearing them. His plan was to take me to a nearby castle for a tour, as I love castles. For some reason, he decided he had to bring his tiny dog along. This created a problem because the castle and garden did not allow dogs. He offered to pay for my tour alone inside, but I declined. I have seen enough castles so that I have a pretty good idea of what is inside. So we headed back to his place. We had discussed going for a bike ride, so I brought my bike in my car, but that never materialized. Instead, we hung out at his place. Being an avid painter, every inch of his wall space was occupied by a painting. Most were very large, and most were variations of poppies and sunflowers, though there were a few of scenery with varying stages of sunrises and sunsets. It was a bit overwhelming. I couldn't really comment on them, as they were not of subjects that interested me, and they were not much detail on them, just lots of color. But they would be great for interior decorating. AJ was very into Eric Clapton and had his music playing in the background the whole time. He also played a few bars for me on his electric guitar. He liked having an audience and bragged about going to parties and how people loved him playing for them. He was probably looking for praise from me, but I wasn't that impressed. I noticed he liked to drink wine frequently throughout the day. He had lost his driving license due to drink driving. Not a good sign. I talked a little bit about some of my spiritual experiences, but he was not interested. He talked constantly, which got on my nerves eventually. When I got the opportunity to squeeze a word in edgewise, I could tell he was thinking about what he wanted to say next instead of listening to me. I had also noticed even before I showed up that he really didn't seem to want to know much about me by never asking me any questions. I pretty much knew there was no prospect for a proper relationship. However, I thought it might be nice just to have a friend with benefits, or at least a day away from my walls at home. I liked the idea of a man being a bit aggressive. I had not necessarily expected to have sex with him, but when he asked me if I wanted to play around with him in bed, I decided to go for it. I very much missed intimacy and was curious. He kissed okay, but there wasn't much of it. I asked him to give me a back massage to help me get in the mood, but it was not very good and did nothing for me. We messed around for a while, but he couldn't keep it up, so we gave up. His house was cold and it really was getting to me. We talked for a while longer on his couch. He continued drinking and kept offering me wine, as he had been doing so since I showed up. I only had a couple mouths full because I knew I would be driving home soon. He continued to rattle on, but his topics started getting depressing. I finally had had enough of his endless chatter and was starting to get a chill, so I politely made my exit. We talked about seeing each other again before I drove off. I would have not have minded giving him another shot, but like most of the guys, he ghosted me the next day. No great loss, that's for sure. It is stressful, but for now I will keep dating. There are new guys on the dating site all the time, and I've been through several so far. It really is a numbers game, and you can't win if you don't play. Just be prepared for losing. Though it feels personal, you can't take it that way or you will go crazy. It just means it wasn't meant to be. It does get easier as you go when you learn not to take it so seriously. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe.